Time is slipping through your fingers right now, not tomorrow, not next year. IGHT no babu. And the question is simple. Are you going to rise, or are you going to watch your life disappear while others build the future you dream about? Because whether you hustle or hesitate, the clock doesn't stop. Listen carefully. Every minute you waste is a minute someone else is using to get ahead. While you're doubting yourself, someone else is working. While you're hesitating, someone else is building. While you're distracted, someone else is getting richer, smarter, stronger. And one day, you will look back and wish you had started right now. Today's world moves fast. Opportunities don't wait. Life doesn't slow down for your excuses. You either evolve or you get left behind. So let's break this down. People talk about time as if it's infinite, as if it's some river that will always keep flowing for them, no matter how slowly they move or how carelessly they live. But time is not your friend. Time is not patient. Time is not soft or forgiving. It doesn't pause when you're confused. It doesn't rewind when you make mistakes. And it doesn't slow down when you're tired. Time is the most ruthless force in your life because it doesn't negotiate and it doesn't care about your excuses. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. And while this sounds simple, almost too obvious, it's the reason most people stay exactly where they are. They underestimate the power of each moment slipping away. They wait for a sign. They wait for a perfect day. They wait for motivation to magically appear. And in that waiting, their entire life gets consumed by hesitation. You've already wasted years doing things that didn't matter. You've already spent countless days scrolling, talking, planning, thinking, hoping, yet barely moving. You've convinced yourself that you'll start soon, that you'll get serious when the time is right, that you'll chase your dreams after things calm down. But let me tell you something that should shake you. Things will never calm down. Life will never hand you the perfect conditions. Time will never suddenly open a doorway and say, now is the ideal moment. The reality is that the perfect moment is a myth people use to justify doing nothing. The perfect moment is a fantasy built by people who are scared to begin. Look around you. The world is moving faster every single day. Opportunities come and disappear in weeks, sometimes in hours. Entire industries rise and collapse within a year. People go from unknown nobodies to millionaires just because they moved faster than the rest. They saw an opportunity, acted instantly, and didn't let fear, doubt, or overthinking slow them down. Meanwhile, others watched, analyzed, debated, procrastinated, only to wake up later and realize the chance was gone forever. Speed is power. Timeliness is advantage. And time, when used correctly, is the most valuable currency you own. Think about your past for a second. Think about the opportunities you missed because you weren't ready, or you didn't feel confident, or you thought you had more time to decide. Think about the relationships you didn't grow, the skills you didn't learn, the risks you didn't take, the dreams you didn't pursue. Think about how many times you told yourself later, only to watch that later turn into never. This isn't because you were incapable. It's because you treated time as if it would always wait for you. But it won't. It never does. Time punishes those who move slowly and rewards those who move with urgency. That's why successful people seem like they're living in a different world. It's not that they're smarter or luckier. It's not they understand something most people ignore. The clock is always ticking, and the window for change is always shrinking. While others say, I'll start next month, they say, I'll start today. While others say, I'm not ready, they say, I'll learn as I go. While others say, what if I fail? They say, what if I waste my life standing still? That mindset, that urgency, is the difference between those who build their dreams and those who watch their dreams fade. People love to believe they have time because it comforts them. It removes pressure. It gives them an excuse to stay lazy, to stay average, to stay uncommitted. But deep down, they know the truth. They know they're wasting their potential. They know the days are passing faster than they expected. They know they're running out of chances. And they know that if they don't change soon, they will wake up one day trapped in a life they never wanted, built by their own inaction. You need to wake up to the reality that time is not something you own. It's something you borrow. Every second is on loan, and one day the clock will run out whether you're ready or not. And when that day comes, you won't be asked how much you intended to do. You won't be judged by your dreams, your hopes, or your potential. You will be judged by your actions. What did you build? What did you chase? What did you create? What did you sacrifice? What did you accomplish before your time was up? That's why urgency is everything. Not panic, not fear, urgency. The understanding that your future depends on what you do right now, not tomorrow, not after you feel inspired, not after you figure things out, right now. Because right now is the only moment you ever truly control. The past is gone. The future doesn't exist yet. Now is the only battlefield. Now is the only chance. Now is the only weapon you have against time. And if you don't use it, someone else will. Someone hungrier. Someone more focused. Someone who understands that every minute counts. The world doesn't slow down so you can catch up. You have to decide to stop wasting your life, stop wasting your potential, and stop pretending that you have forever. Because you don't. Nobody does. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will start moving like someone who deserves success instead of someone who's waiting for it. People grow up hearing that wanting money is wrong, that chasing wealth makes you selfish, greedy, or arrogant. Society teaches you to fear ambition, to feel guilty for wanting more than survival. They tell you to be grateful, as if gratitude and hunger can't coexist. They tell you money isn't everything, usually from the mouths of people who've never had enough of it. But here's the truth most people never have the courage to say out loud: money is not evil. Money is freedom. Money is safety. Money is power. Money is opportunity. And staying broke, staying trapped, limited, dependent, and vulnerable is far worse than any criticism you might face for becoming wealthy. When you're broke, you don't get to choose the life you want. You take whatever life gives you. You accept jobs you hate, schedules you don't control, environments that drain you, and people who disrespect you because you can't afford to walk away. When you have no money, you are not free. You think you're surviving, but really you're trapped. Every decision you make is influenced by fear of losing your job, fear of bills you can't pay, fear of emergencies you can't handle, fear of the future because you know deep down you're not prepared. That is not living. That is slow suffocation. People pretend that being broke makes you noble or humble. It doesn't. It makes you stressed, tired, overworked, and constantly anxious. It makes you say yes when you want to say no. It makes you depend on systems designed to keep you exactly where you are: small, quiet, obedient. It forces you to choose survival over growth. And the worst part, you get so used to struggling that you start believing it's normal. You convince yourself this is how life is supposed to feel: heavy, limited, burdensome. You normalize suffering because you don't believe you deserve more. And yet, the same people who claim money doesn't matter spend their entire life worrying about it. They fight over it. They lose sleep over it. They cry over it. They argue about it. They work jobs they hate just to get more of it. So if money really didn't matter, why does the lack of it destroy so many lives? Why does the absence of it create stress, tension, conflict, and fear? The answer is simple: money matters because the world is built on it. Every dream you have, every goal you imagine, every freedom you desire requires money to unlock it. You want to take care of your family. You need money. You want to travel the world. You need money. You want to start a business. You need money. You want to live in a safe neighborhood. You need money. You want time to rest, think, create, grow. You need money. Even the ability to focus on self-improvement requires money because struggle kills the mind's capacity to grow. People who say money isn't everything are usually the ones using it the wrong way or never had enough to see what it can truly do. They think money only means luxury, cars, watches, mansions. But real wealth isn't showing off. It's the power to control your life. It's waking up and knowing you get to choose how you spend your day instead of being forced into someone else's plan. It's being able to protect the people you love. It's removing fear from your life. It's having breathing room, safety, options. Wealth isn't about greed. It's about stability. It's about peace of mind. You need to understand that the world doesn't reward people for being good or deserving. It rewards value. It rewards movement. It rewards discipline. It rewards those who understand what money truly represents. Money is simply a tool. It magnifies who you already are. If you're generous, money makes you more generous. If you're ambitious, Money expands your opportunities. If you're driven, money amplifies your impact. But if you're weak, money exposes your weakness. If you're irresponsible, money feeds that irresponsibility. Money doesn't change you. It reveals you. That's why some fear it. They're not afraid of wealth. They're afraid of who they'll become when excuses no longer protect them. Staying broke is not noble. It's dangerous. It keeps you small. It keeps you quiet. It keeps you dependent. It keeps you afraid. And fear is the greatest enemy of progress. When you're struggling financially, your brain is in survival mode. You can't think long term. You can't plan. You can't strategize. You can't dream big. All your mental energy is spent on short-term panic, bills, debts, responsibilities, obligations. Creativity dies. Purpose fades. Hunger disappears because fear takes all the room. And while you're stuck in that loop, the world keeps moving forward. Opportunities blow past you. People with resources keep growing, and you keep falling behind. Not because you're less capable, but because you're fighting life on hard mode. When you have money, life becomes easier, not because problems vanish, but because you gain the power to solve them. You gain the ability to focus on higher goals instead of basic survival. You start living intentionally instead of reactively. You don't need to want money just for luxury. You need to want money because without it, you are vulnerable. Without it, you're stuck. Without it, you live your life around fear instead of freedom. And that is the greatest tragedy, wasting your potential, shrinking your dreams, limiting your existence simply because you accepted the lie that ambition is bad. The truth is the opposite. Settling is bad. Staying broke is bad. Hiding your potential is bad. Not living the life you're capable of is bad. Money isn't the enemy. Your hesitation is. Your excuses are. Your fear is. And until you kill those, you will never rise to the level you're meant to reach. People chase motivation like it's some magic fuel that's going to carry them through life. They wait for the perfect wave of excitement, the perfect burst of inspiration, the perfect emotional high that will suddenly make everything easy. But motivation is temporary. It's unstable, inconsistent, and unpredictable. It rises and falls like the weather. One day you feel unstoppable, and the next day you can't even get out of bed. And this is exactly why most people never achieve anything significant. They depend on emotion instead of discipline. They act only when they feel like it, instead of acting because they said they would. And that difference is everything. Discipline is the lifeline that keeps you on course when everything else collapses. Discipline is the ability to do the work long after the excitement has faded. It's the strength to push forward when your mind is tired, when your emotions are low, when life gets heavy, and when quitting feels easier than continuing. Discipline is the purest form of self-respect. It means you honor your word, not your mood. It means you act based on commitment, not comfort. When you are disciplined, you don't negotiate with yourself. You don't bargain with your excuses. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You move because you decided to move. Everyone wants results, but very few want the routine required to earn them. They crave success, but they reject the boring, repetitive, uncomfortable habits that build it. They want transformation without sacrifice, progress without discomfort, growth without struggle. But discipline demands all of that. Discipline separates dreamers from doors. Anybody can dream big, but only those with discipline can build something real. Think about the strongest version of yourself. Not the fantasy version in your imagination, but the real version that could exist if you stop giving in to weakness. That version of you wakes up when they said they would, trains when they don't feel like it, studies when they're tired, works on their goals when everyone else is relaxing, and sticks to their plan no matter how many obstacles appear. That version isn't fueled by hype. They're fueled by discipline. That version isn't waiting for motivation. They create momentum through consistent action. You need to understand something. Discipline is not supposed to feel good. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is the price of greatness. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, you strengthen your identity. You prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through. You build self-trust. You build self-control. And over time, discipline becomes a habit, not a battle. It becomes easier to push yourself than to make excuses. It becomes more natural to stay committed than to quit. Because discipline, once built, becomes part of who you are. People who lack discipline live reactive lives. They are controlled by mood swings, by external circumstances, by temporary emotions. If they're stressed, they stop working. If they're tired, they stop showing up. If they're bored, they quit. These people never build anything meaningful because anything meaningful requires long-term effort, long-term consistency, and long-term sacrifice. They don't understand that the struggle they avoid is the very path that leads to the life they want. When you rely on discipline instead of motivation, you gain an unfair advantage. You become unstoppable because you're no longer tied to how you feel. Feelings are unreliable. Discipline is unbreakable. When motivation dies, most people crumble. But when motivation dies for a disciplined person, they keep going. They don't need emotional fuel. They have internal structure, internal control, internal strength. That's why disciplined people win, even when conditions aren't ideal. They don't need perfect days. They don't need inspiration. They don't need someone to hype them up. Their actions are automatic, intentional, and consistent. Discipline also reveals who you truly are. You can lie to others. You can pretend you're working hard. You can talk about your goals. You can post about your dreams. But discipline exposes everything. It shows whether you're committed or just talking. It shows whether you're serious or just pretending. It shows whether you're built for greatness or comfortable with mediocrity. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you choose discipline, you cast a vote for greatness. Every time you choose laziness, you cast a vote for weakness. It's that simple. And the truth is, discipline isn't just about productivity. It's about identity. It shapes your self-image. When you consistently do hard things, you start believing you're capable of achieving anything. When you constantly break your own promises, you start believing you're weak and unreliable. That is why so many people lose confidence, not because life defeated them, but because they repeatedly betrayed themselves. They told themselves one thing and did another. Discipline is the antidote to that self-betrayal. It rebuilds your confidence from the inside out. It gives you control over your life. It makes you dangerous, not in a harmful way, but in a powerful, unshakable way. A disciplined person can achieve more in a year than an undisciplined person can in a decade. Because while others are distracted, they're focused. While others are resting, they're building. While others are complaining, they're improving. They understand that nobody is coming to save them. Nobody is coming to push them. Nobody is coming to make them great. It's all on them. And that's the truth. You must accept discipline is not punishment. Discipline is liberation. It is the key to freedom. People think freedom means doing whatever you feel like. But that is the fastest road to chaos, failure, and regret. Real freedom comes from mastery. Mastery over your mind, your time, your body, your habits. When you are disciplined, you control your life instead of your life controlling you. You choose your direction. You build your future. You create your destiny. In the end, everything comes down to one undeniable truth. Your life is moving whether you're prepared or not. Time isn't waiting for you to get confident, to feel ready, or to figure things out. Every second that passes pushes you closer to two possible futures, the one you want and the one you fear. And the gap between those two destinies is defined entirely by your willingness to act. You can keep pretending you have forever. You can keep lying to yourself, telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. But deep down, you know the truth. If you don't move now, if you don't make decisions with urgency, you will look back one day drowning in regret. Your future self is begging you to start today, not when it's convenient, not when you feel inspired. Today, you must understand that money, success, and freedom are not rewards given to the lucky. They are earned by those who refuse to stay where they are. Wanting to get rich isn't about greed. It's about survival. It's about rising above the stress, fear, limitation, and dependency that come with being broke. It's about having choices. It's about protecting the people you love. It's about finally living life on your terms instead of bowing to circumstances. The world is brutal to those who coast, to those who hesitate, to those who move slowly. If you don't build your own life, someone else will use you to build theirs. The only way forward is to embrace the reality that getting rich is a responsibility. To yourself, to your future, to the potential inside you that deserves more than mediocrity. And none of this is possible without discipline. Discipline is the force that turns your intentions into reality. It's the armor that protects you from your own weaknesses, from laziness, from doubt, from the excuses that have held you down for years. Motivation might spark you, but discipline builds you, it forges you, it transforms you. Every time you choose discipline, you choose power, you choose growth. You choose to become the version of yourself that doesn't quit, doesn't negotiate with comfort, and doesn't accept anything less than greatness. Discipline is the path to becoming unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. So as you stand at the edge of your own potential, ask yourself one question. How much longer are you willing to wait? How many more years are you willing to sacrifice to fear distractions, procrastination, or excuses? The world is shifting fast. Opportunities are appearing and disappearing every single day. If you don't rise now, when will you? If you don't take control now, who will do it for you? Your story is being written whether you participate or not. Make the decision to be the author, not the spectator. Time is running out. It always has been. But if you choose urgency, discipline, and action, you can still seize everything life has to offer. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Tak you and gu o by now. Thank you for taking the time to watch, listen, and grow with this message. Your support, your attention, and your commitment to becoming a stronger version of yourself mean more than words can ever express. Every view, every like, every share helps spread a message of discipline, ambition, and transformation. And for that, I am truly grateful. If this speech pushed you, empowered you, or opened your eyes even a little, then make sure you stay connected. There's so much more to come. More power, more truth, more motivation to help you take control of your life. Your journey doesn't end here, and neither does this mission. Until the next upload, stay focused, stay disciplined, and stay hungry for more. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in yourself. And thank you for choosing growth over comfort. Goodbye for now, but never goodbye to your greatness.